Hey guys, it's Adam here, your Northern Tech, and today we're bringing you a product review. The product we're reviewing is the Smok Xpro M80 Plus. Let's roll that intro and crack into this. Alrighty guys, so here we have the Smok Xpro M80 Plus. This is an electronic cigarette battery that'll do up to 80 watts, has temperature control, and a built-in really large battery. And for the price, it's definitely worth it. So we're gonna go ahead and unbox this. I've already been using it now for about 2 weeks. I wanted to get familiar with the product before I did a review on it. But first we'll take a look at the outside of the box. So I got this here from a company called GearBest. I'll put a link in the description for the product. It was about 38 bucks US. And I have to admit, this thing is amazing. I've been using it, like I said, for 2 weeks with a 0.3 ohm Atlantis coil, and it's been kicking. So on the box on the front, they just got the picture, nothing on the side, the tag on the top explaining what it is, basically what color it is, because you can get them in different colors. They come in black, silver, gray, and gold. I think the gold's a pink gold, just so you're aware. Nothing on the bottom, and on the back they just have information from Smok. All the informations. And there's your seal of authenticity if you'd like to look that over. You can use your phone and you can probably tag that little QR code there if you want. Let's go ahead and crack open the box and take a look inside. So the sleeve comes off, revealing this really nice Smok, or Smok, I think it's Smok, the E label. Then you open the box and right away, what do you see? The mod. Now there is a little bit of juice on it. Like I said, I have been using it to get familiar with it. I'll just take this out of the way here. So this is pretty nice. The box is really nicely done. Just grab this here, you can lift this off and take it right out. And then underneath you have your user manual, which, you know what? It's actually written in pretty good English. I have to admit, like, this was actually done pretty well. Basically tells you how to operate the device and whatnot, so on and so forth. You also get a micro USB charging cable and a 510 Ego adapter if you're using those kinds of tanks. I'm not using the USB cable. I got enough of these that I don't really need to use them, so I'll just put that back in there and let's get on with the main event here. The Smok Xpro M80 Plus. Oh yes. So here she be. Here, I'll compare it to the iStick 50. So here we got the Smok M80 Plus. And here we have an iStick 50. As you can see, generally they're about the same height. However, the Smok is a lot wider. Okay, just so you get an idea as to the size. So if you have an iStick 50, you get an idea how big the Smok's gonna be. So here is the Smok M80X. So here is the Smok Xpro M80 Plus. There are other versions of this on the site. Like I said, I got the black one because I just prefer the black one. As you can tell, I tend to get it dirty pretty quick. Let's go over this product here and I'll show you the different, basically what it has on it. So on the front you just have the logo. On the bottom you have your vent holes for the battery. It's got a 4400 milliamp hour lithium polymer battery, and here's your USB charging port. I was a little bit upset about the fact that the charging port was on the bottom at first. However, I realized pretty quick that you can plug in a cable and hang it off the side of a table. Sit basically this whole flat part here on the table, and it stays up there pretty good while you're charging. So, or you can lay it down if you want, if you don't feel it'll be safe standing up. That I was a little upset at first, but you know what? I got used to it and it's fine. It's not a big deal. There's no reason to disassemble this here, but if you do, if you need to for any reason, you can see that those are just Torx screws. I'm not sure the exact size of the Torx screws, but there's Torx screws on the bottom and top of it. I'll show you the top after. On this side here, there's nothing except for this neat little heatsink design. On the back of the unit, it shows the Smok logo, which is the company that makes the product. And over here is where you have your wattage up, wattage down, and your fire button and power on button and feature selection button to get into the menu. I'll show you that in a minute. On the top you have your 510 connector, which is adjustable, and it is spring loaded, which is really nice. Everything I put on this thing has fit so far. And like I said, there's some more screws on the top, so if you need to get into it for whatever reason you can, but there should be no reason to have to get into this device. Now I know it's really dirty right now. That chrome is a real fingerprint magnet. I just wiped it off of my shirt, but like literally it's just a fingerprint magnet. So if that's something that gets your OCD going, be aware. Be aware. Now right now I have the device turned off. I just took it off the charger To fire it up, you just press the fire button 5 times, and oh, I had it upside down, and it fires up. Usually it says hello and then it turns on. I have it set to 42 watts. You can take her right down to, let me see if I show you that, 6 watts, and she'll go all the way up, right up to 80 watts. And as you notice here, there is a reset button. The reason for the reset button is if something happens that this device locks up or you can't make any menu changes, pressing and holding that reset button is similar to removing the battery out of it. Okay, so if anything goes wrong when you're using it and you can't change your voltage or you can't change your wattage, sorry, and you need to do that, all you do is get something like a toothpick or a paper clip, something small you can get in there and give it a little quick tap, and it'll basically disconnect the battery and reconnect the battery, and it'll reset the device, which is very, very nice. To get into the menu system, this is where it's tricky. You press the power button 3 times and you're in the menu. Takes you in, the first menu item is between wattage, mech, and temp control mode. So that's wattage, temp control, mech mode. Now wattage mode is where you set your wattage, obviously from 6 to 80. Mech mode, the way that works is no different than those old tube mods where, like for instance, right now the battery has 4.2 volts on it on a full charge. So whatever you plug into that 510 connector in mech mode, she's going to send 4.2 volts straight through to that atomizer, but it slowly drops as you go. Okay, just like using an 18650 mech mod with an atomizer on it. You start off, it's a great vape, and as you go it slowly starts depreciating as the battery starts dying. Well, that's what mech mode is. And temp control mode, unfortunately I haven't been able to test it yet because I don't have any nickel wire or any coils for any of my clearomizers to do that, but one of these days I plan on getting some, so I'll probably do a revised information on this to let you know how temp control works. But that's one feature I haven't tested out yet because this is my first TC device. Bring her back into the menu. So we got the configuration where you can choose all your stuff. I showed you that already. We'll leave it in wattage. So you have that. You have your puff counter. You have the clock. You have your temperature control. This is where you set your heat. So whatever you want. So here, we'll get back in there. The menu system is really quick. So we get into the temperature, and from here you can increase your temperature in Fahrenheit that you want to max out at if you're using temperature control. I don't know what's good, I haven't researched it much, but when I do get some nickel based or stainless steel based coils, I'll probably give that a go and I'll let you know how that works. The clock is literally, this is where you set the time, so we'll just skip through that. I already got it all set. And last but not least, this is the power button. This is how you turn it off. If you set it to off, it says goodbye and shuts off, and then it's just 5 clicks to turn it back on. If you tap this button 5 times right now, it locks it, and what's really cool is if you press the fire button, it tells you what time it is. Look at that. So if you don't have a watch on you and you have your electronic cigarette, you can actually figure out what time it is, which is perfect, or your phone for that matter, because people more or less check their time on their phones nowadays. So there you go. So the only thing I can't really show you how temperature control works, but there you go, wattage, temperature control, mech mode. We'll save, put it back to wattage. Now you're probably wondering, well Adam, that's nice and all, but how well does it work? This thing works like a champ. This is one of the, this has been my daily, sorry for covering it in juice already. I had it all cleaned off, but my hands are, this is a horrible review, but it's an awesome product, I'm telling you guys. For I'll have the link in the description for GearBest if you want to pick yourself up one. This is by far my favorite daily vape mod, especially at work, because I don't like to take my phone outside when I go outside for a vape. When I bring this, I got the clock right on the side, right? You press and hold her, and she tells you the time. Now, right now it's locked. To unlock it, it's simple. It's 5 clicks. Now it's unlocked. Now when you fire it, it says check atomizer, because there's no atomizer on it, so we'll go ahead and put an atomizer on it. We're using the old but faithful Aspire Atlantis 1 with a 0.3 ohm coil. I want to show you this. This kind of reminds me of the DNA-based chips. As you pull the trigger, that's when it tells you how many volts are put into the coil. You see that? And then you can just adjust your wattage from that point on. So unlike the IPVs and such and the iSticks, this here will only tell you what the voltage is going out after you pull the trigger. And it adjusts as it goes, because sometimes a coil will bounce around on resistance a little bit, depending on what's going on, and it'll adjust your voltage as per the resistance in wattage mode. Anyway, let's take it up to face cam time and let's see how well this thing vapes. Alrighty guys, so we got it here with the Atlantis on it. I really like the way it feels in your hand. It's got a good feel to it and it kicks. You know, it does a pretty damn good job for what it is. I love the fact that it supports pass-through as well. So if you're sitting at your computer, you can plug in your USB cable, keep it charged at all times, vape when you need it, and it's always at the ready. It's always at the ready. Use it in your car with a USB charger, so if you're on a long trip and you want your dart to last the whole time, well, there you go. Theoretically, this is actually cheaper than the iStick 100, and in my opinion, I think it's a little bit better because you got temperature control on it, which is a feature the iStick 100 doesn't have. Sure, it's got 20 less watts, but honestly, I can't see myself, well, what does 80 watts give me on this? Does that give me a headache? Okay, so I got her set to 80 watts. Let's see how much this sucks. Oh, it's too warm. It's too warm. But she does it. She'll do 80 watts, no problem. I'm just not a fan of going that high. I was giving her 4.8 volts to the coil. It was starting to taste a little burnt. I usually like to keep her around 40 watts, maybe 50 tops, in my own opinion. Some people like a hot vape. I'm not a big fan of the hot vapes. But for the price, it's friggin' awesome. And let me tell you, another thing about GearBest was they shipped this out to me and within 10 days I had it. GearBest is another company like Fast Tech where they're basically a China store. However, they get stuff out to you pretty damn quick. So I was really impressed with this. Probably gonna order more equipment from them, more gear, because that shipping rate is amazing and their prices are pretty damn affordable. So I'll put a link to this here in the description if you want to check it out and get your own. I definitely recommend it if you're looking for a battery that can reach higher than 50 watts, that you do not have to put 18650 batteries into, and that you can use as a pass-through. This might be what you're looking for. And like I said, it also has temperature control, so if you want to play around with that feature, it's got it. So it makes it a lot easier. And it's under 40 bucks. So like I said, you can't go wrong. Now, one thing I did notice about it is, I don't know if the microphone's going to pick this up, but when I fire it, listen, you might hear a whine. There's a little bit of a whine coming out of it. I'm not sure what that is. That doesn't affect the performance. And like I say, it fires every time you press the button. The battery, I can usually go all day on 4400 milliamps with this tank, and that's at 0.3 ohms. If I had the proper coils in this thing at 0.5 ohms, it'd probably last me a day and a half. But by all means, right now this is my favorite device. This is my daily vape. This is the one I've been using, and I even have the iStick 100 here. And I prefer this over the 100 in my own opinion. Now, I understand Smok has released another product called the Cube. With the Cube, I do believe you need to supply your own battery. So if you're looking for something simple that you can just unbox, charge, and go without having to fiddle with batteries and a spare charger and all that, this is probably what you're looking for, and this will get the job done. So thanks for watching. Leave a comment below if you have anything else you want to add to this about this device. Like I said, the link's in the description. Check it out. And maybe this might be the dart for you. So thanks for watching, guys. Leave a comment, like the video, and take care.